As I sit here and I open my check, I'm just sitting here wondering, how's sales going? Target, Walmart, all fast food restaurants. How them sales going? It's a nice little check to put in my account and let it collect interest. Y'all ain't getting a fucking penny. How them sales going? See, this is why y'all wanted to shut down TikTok. They said today was Blackout Day, baby, and that's what the fuck we meant. How them sales going? I think y'all might want to put that DEI program back into effect before your projection for next year is not met. Put that shit back in effect before your projection for next week is not met. Because I'm telling you, sales dropped drastically.
Hi beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by again and supporting your girl on this channel. You know what time it is? FAFO Chronicles. Shout out to all the creators in these videos. All credit goes to you. So guys, without further ado, in today's video,
I don't understand something about the people that voted for Trump that are now complaining, because there's a lot of them now on TikTok. I mean, to Trump's defense, he's not doing anything new. He has been saying for years what he wants to do, and you guys still voted for him, and now you're complaining. I mean, if you've been on TikTok, you know that you cannot escape American content. I mean, I've been seeing videos of, you know, people talking about, I did not expect Trump to do these things. I mean, I saw farmers in Republican states. Turns out the red states, as they call them, are the heaviest dependents on the federal government for funding. Yet the average red state person is against government helping people, and these same people will tell you, oh no, we don't want to give out handouts and things like that. Yet they are the biggest beneficiary of what they call, you know, handouts, you know, which for me is quite peculiar, because you are the big it's so confusing, because it's like, he told you what he's gonna do, you voted for him, and now you're complaining because he's doing the same thing he told you he was gonna do. Or you're only complaining because it affects you. That's the reason why you're complaining. You're only complaining because now it directly affects you, and all of a sudden it's a problem, you know. You know, all of a sudden it's a big deal, it's a problem, and things of that nature. But I also think that, I mean, in addition to that, you also had the situations where, you know, you will see women, especially white women, complaining about how they just lost their job because, you know, they work in the federal government. I mean, it's like a South Park episode, you know, where you're seeing things, just something very stupid completely happen. You know, for example, you have people talking about, oh yeah, we need to make a more efficient government, and then people are losing their jobs now in the federal government. Turns out they are going to fire everybody, whether you're Republican or not. I mean, it's so fucking crazy. Or you thought he was only going to fire Democrats, people that work in federal government. I mean, it's so crazy, man. Now you have people losing their jobs, both red and Republican and Democrats. But I don't understand what you're complaining. I mean, there was a farmer talking about, yeah, he voted for migrants to be deported, illegal, undocumented to be deported. Turns out most of his workers that help him keep his farm running are also undocumented. So it's such a stupid counterintuitive perspective. I have no dog in this fight. I'm just confused because he's not doing anything new that he didn't say he wouldn't do.
Target loses $15.7 billion since it ended its DEI initiatives. I'll give you 3 things about that. Number 1, the Montgomery bus boycott in Montgomery, Alabama lasted 381 days. Target announced it was ending its DEI initiatives on January 24th. Today's February 18th. This is less than a month of people being deliberate and choosy with how they spend their dollars. With the access to information we have and the reach we all have collectively on social media, imagine what we can accomplish in 381 days. Thing number 2, This money is going somewhere else. I've seen lists by the NAACP and other organizations that highlight companies that have doubled down on their DEI initiatives. These are companies like Costco, Ben & Jerry's, JP Morgan Chase that have rebuffed pressure from conservatives to scrap their DEI initiatives. Thing number 3, this shit works. There is nothing organizations born out of capitalism understand more than market trends. And nothing lights a fire under a CEO's ass more than loss of market share and revenue. These companies only care when it affects their wallet. If you're looking to be heard, that's how you make them hear us.
Target is shaking at their little knees. The efforts of people deciding to get rid of Target and stop shopping there and boycotting is absolutely working. But this is the thing. Target is a luxury. Target is where we would go for vibes and good times. Target is where we would just waste unnecessary money. It's not necessarily a necessity, but it's a place that we've enjoyed and we thought was supportive of us. If we really want to make a sound, we really want to hit them where it hurts, and we want to send a message, not just to these big, massive corporations, but we also want to send it to people like McDonald's, who've also made decisions to get rid of DEI. We need to bring down Walmart. We need to bring down Goliath. We're finna be like David with the stones, and Goliath is coming down. Walmart made over $500 million more than Target last year. Walmart has over double the amount of stores. Like, Walmart is everywhere, and we know that, right? We may not prefer to go there all the time, but Walmart is definitely more affordable than Target, which means that it's going to be more difficult. For some, it's going to be hard to not go to Walmart. But in the month of March, if you've been going along with the strategy that I put out a few weeks ago, Walmart is next in line for the month of March. We will not be shopping in Walmart in March. Now, if you're going with a different plan, do you, boo? I support it. Let's go. So let's bring Goliath down and boycott
People were swearing
Walmart.
up and down they'd never set foot in a Target again. It's not just Target in the last few weeks that have rolled back their DEI efforts. Pepsi, Comcast, PBS, Disney, Chipotle, Google, Amtrak. Basically, if you've ever used Wi-Fi, eaten a burrito, or watched a kids show, somebody's backtracking. This isn't about the companies, this is about the administration we just newly elected. These businesses aren't making moves in a vacuum. They're responding to a political climate that just changed up the game. DEI initiatives didn't suddenly become ineffective overnight. What happened was a power shift, and now companies are protecting their bottom line. Even if every company in America suddenly went back pushing diversity initiatives, racism isn't going to just disappear, because the real issue isn't just about hiring quotas or pledging diversity. If you want to boycott, go for it. But let's not pretend that withholding our Target runs or burrito bowls is really going to fix this bigger problem. Maybe instead of expecting corporations to do all the work, we should start putting pressure where it actually belongs, back on the people making the laws, back in our communities.
The thing with this DEI is that there was a time I made a video about it also. If you want to go for it with your full chest, please go for it. And if you think, I'm skeptical about it, do whatever rocks your boat, okay? So, the truth about this is that corporations, no matter how little, hate to lose money, okay? Those CEOs in the big offices, they hate to lose money. So if you think this DEI boycotts are not getting to them, you have to think again. If you think they are not making any difference, you have to think again, because Target has lost a lot of money in a short time. And if pressure is put on those bosses with the little understanding that I have, they also know who to cry to. Okay? So just do your part. I believe it's shaking tables. It's touching where it should touch. And if they decide not to bring back DEI, then they are lost. But a lot of people are not going back there.
I know that we're enjoying watching the fuck around find out moment. FAFO, it feeds the schadenfreude that lives inside of me and all of us. But we have to let that go. I have seen countless videos of people realizing that they done fucked up with how they voted. And their videos where they're actually doing something that's pretty bold and brave and admitting that they were wrong is filled with comments of people who agree with me politically, who are saying, oh, well, now that it affects you, okay, well, I'm glad you're suffering. And you have to realize, like, we are in this boat together, and you need every ally you can get for what's happening. All of us only know what we know, and we learn new stuff every day. It's easy for me to be a liberal because I was raised by liberal people, and as a queer person, it affects me directly. If I was cisgender and raised by my aunt and uncle instead of my mom and dad, I might be a Trump voter. I have no way of knowing because I'm not that. I know what I am. And if you're saying, well, okay, but we've been telling them, you've been shouting it into the void, but you maybe haven't been telling them in a way that they see it or hear it. Now, do you need to let go of that schadenfreude? No, not necessarily. But if someone's going to be bold enough and brave enough to publicly admit that they done fucked up, don't punish them for admitting that. That's completely contrary to everything that needs to be happening right now. Listen to them, hear them, and say, I'm so glad you have realized this. Can we move forward now? But to take someone in the moment that they've learned something and they have admitted they're wrong, and to punish them for having learned something and for admitting that they were wrong, it does nothing but cause hurt, not only to them, but also to you and to the causes you're fighting for. It is unreasonable to expect ideological purity from people who are starting at a very far different place from where you're starting. In fact, ideological litmus tests are pretty bad news for everyone. Because remember, the fight is not left or right. The fight is up
to get my
to
opinion
down.
on Target rolling back DEI among other retailers because my brand Minted Cosmetics was sold in Target and a number of retailers for a number of years, and they just wanted to get my thoughts. So I'm going to share with you what I shared with them, knowing that one, the story might not go to print. Sometimes stories get pitched and don't go to print. Two, a lot of times all of the things you say are not represented in the article, not because of any wrongdoing on the journalist's part, just because, they have to pull pieces and bits. So I'm just going to share everything I shared. Starting with this. I said, number one, I think Target and Walmart and other retailers rolling back to EI is very short-sighted. And it's short-sighted for a couple of reasons. Number one, we are seeing the calls for boycott, which was very predictable, and someone in their boardroom should have predicted that. So that's number one. But number two, diversity and inclusion is good business. There have been plenty of studies to show this. When your shelves represent your consumers and when your boardrooms represent your consumers, you do better business for those consumers. So it's just good business. And I think rolling back DEI will prove to be bad for business. Two, I said, I don't think these rollbacks are going to fundamentally change the way people like me and other founders of color that I know do business, and other, women founders that I know do business. At the end of the day, we're going to continue making products that speak to our consumers, and we're going to continue distributing those products to our consumers via the avenues and channels that we can. For Minted, we are selling through our site. We are selling through Amazon. We sell on ShopUp. We sell in CVS. And we will continue finding the paths to our consumers, the paths of least resistance, and that make the most sense. So I don't think it fundamentally changes the way a lot of us are going to do business. And then the third thing I said, because I was asked directly, what I think about the boycotts and if that's something I support. And I said, I have always said, I think consumers should use their dollars like their voice and spend their dollars with brands who care about them. And they have to be the ones to decide which brands do and don't, right? I think the reason Minted has been successful is because the people who have purchased from us feel like we are speaking to them, speaking to their needs. And I'm grateful for that. And I think every consumer should be able to decide if a brand or a retailer is speaking to their interests. I also said I don't begrudge anyone who isn't going to boycott, right? Because places like Walmart, sometimes Target, even end up in a food desert where that might be the closest grocery store for many, many miles for you. And so boycotting isn't really an option. Or it might be a store that is the most affordable for your home essentials. I personally don't begrudge anyone for not doing a boycott, but I also very much understand and respect everyone who is going to do one. So those are the things I shared. Again, I don't know how much of them will make it into the article, but that is how I feel, at least.
Okay, cool. Dollars right there. I'm gonna get this though. Ooh.
Okay, I'll get back and take notes. I'm good.
What?
Hands.
I just did not now. Hey, now, have you heard of, how much is it again?
2632 on
2632. Have you heard of DEI?
Not that I know of.
You haven't? Okay. Part of the reason why I'm not going to purchase this because of how she treated me and your staff since I've been here. And so I'm just going to leave. Let her help you take it all back. I'm done. So yeah, I didn't buy anything here at Target. And see, that's what we got to get our activists to know, that we can do boycott, but you got to add inconvenience to it. Everybody in the country need to go to a local Target, shop, get all the things that you think that you would like, put it in the cart, go to the cash register and say, you know what? You all don't support DEI. This is my last, and they can call the police. I thought they'd been out here waiting on me, but I ain't coming back no way.
Guys, what do you think about this? Okay, so this man, I read that is actually a reverend or a pastor or something. What do you think about this move of ease? He said you don't just sit in your house and say you're boycotting. You go there and boycott with inconvenience. Like, what do you guys think? Because, for example, imagine that cashier that attended to him. Imagine she's even a supporter of DEI, okay, but she cannot leave her job for obvious reasons. She doesn't have another one, and she has to put food on her table. I mean, money has to be made, right? So just imagine even though when the pastor asked her, she said she doesn't know what DEI means, but we all know the truth, right? Anyways, moving forward. So imagine if she's a DEI supporter, but because of obvious reasons, she needs money. Okay, the bills will not wait for her, but she has to keep working. So just imagine the inconvenience on her part. I mean, those were a lot of stuff. About $2,600 plus dollars. Guys, this era is just, it's insane. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, because Target is really finding out why. Okay, they are finding out why. Let me know what you guys think about this move. Boycott with inconvenience or just boycott? Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'll see you in my next video. Please don't forget to stay safe. Mental health is important. Ciao.